Now at noon, city crews begin moving homeless camps outside the old Assembly Brewing building. And caught on camera the moment immigration agents took someone into custody at a local Home Depot.
You guys are being cowards.
Plus, amid a national emphasis on reducing crime, new statistics paint a mixed picture in Washington state.
That does not engender confidence in the justice system.
And later, Grant McComey takes us on the path less traveled to connect with nature and peek through a window into Oregon's past. Your news at noon starts right now. Thanks so much for joining us here at noon. I'm Stephanie Domerat. We have an update to a story we first brought you earlier this week. This morning, crews began clearing a homeless camp outside the former Assembly Brewing in Southeast Portland. Our Devin Haskins is live along Southeast Foster in Portland for us with more on this. Devin, what have you learned?
Yes, Stephanie, earlier this week, those staying here at the old Assembly Brewing building said they were told to be out by 9 a.m. today, and right on the dot at 9 o'clock, rapid response crews as well as a Portland police officer showed up to tell them to move along. The crews are still here kind of cleaning up what was left behind. There are two camps here. One was out on the sidewalk with just a couple of tents that rapid response cleared. That was the public part of the clearing. And then the bigger one that was taking over the outside of the former Assembly Brewing building, that again on private property. Officers asked those staying on private property to move along or face a trespass charge. Assembly Brewing shut down in May, and in the months since, the building has become a growing homeless camp. Earlier this week, those staying here given a notice to leave today by 9 a.m. We spoke with one man who says that he had been staying here about 2 months, now not sure where he's going to stay.
You have as good an idea as I do. I don't know what we're going to do. I don't know what we're going to do. Me and my girlfriend are trying to stay off drugs and be clean, and out here is not a good environment for that, and so it's been rough, but we just want to go somewhere safe with a roof over our head, but we don't know where that is.
They said he's talked with a social worker out here, but was unclear on what was going to happen with that. And earlier this week, Portland Mayor Keith Wilson said that he had reached a goal of opening 1,500 overnight shelter beds this year. But according to city data, more than 1,000 more people are homeless than when Mayor Wilson first took office back in January. Stephanie?
All right, Devin, thank you for that report. Developing this afternoon, cell phone video captured what appears to show ICE agents arresting a man inside a local Home Depot in the Dalles. Now, the video shows him being escorted out by agents. This happened Saturday morning. KGW News talked with the man who recorded it, saying he saw 3 federal agents grab a customer and force him out of the store. Destin Ramsey shared this cell phone video with us. In the video, you can hear as the man is being taken out, he's shouting his phone number out in Spanish. Ramsey said he heard the commotion and started recording. He says he talked with that man's family, who told him he is a local handyman. KGW has not been able to verify that man's identity or why agents were arresting him.
People, it sounds like their dad was really hardworking, really like a strong pillar of not only their family, but of their community, of their church community. You sound like a really, really good guy.
We asked Home Depot about this. They wouldn't provide direct answers, but shared this general statement saying, quote, "We aren't notified that immigration enforcement activities are going to happen, and we aren't involved in the operations." End quote. They continue to say, "We aren't coordinating with ICE or Border Patrol. We are required to follow all federal and local rules and regulations in every market where we operate." This morning, the city of Dallas released a statement saying local police were not told about the arrest in advance and did not assist federal agents. Meanwhile, people in Woodburn are responding after federal agents there detained at least 14 people on their way to work. Immigrant rights groups say the farm workers and landscapers were all traveling in a van Wednesday morning when they were arrested. At the end of October, the farm workers union, PICUN, said agents detained 35 people in one day.
Many of these folks are essential workers, people who play essential roles like growing our food, taking care of our kids. They're in construction. They're in many industries that are critical to Oregon.
Woodburn declared a state of emergency last month over the federal immigration crackdown. We've reached out to ICE and Homeland Security on both of these arrests and the arrest in the Dalles. We will update you as we learn more. Let's bring in Chief Meteorologist Chris McGinnis. Chris, it is another rainy day out there, like you mentioned. Really, I saw a lot of flooding, too, on the roads, honestly, when I was driving in this morning.
Yeah, ponding of water, all that stuff today. But what we first want to get to is this. I want to let folks know that we have issued a weather impact alert for even heavier rain next week. So as I bring this graphic up, you know what? I grabbed the wrong clicker. So pardon me on that one. I'm going to advance this real quick. The date that we're looking for here, Monday night into Tuesday and Wednesday. The rain that we had today, yeah, it's been a lot, but we're going to see a lot more potentially next week, on the order of maybe 2 to 4 inches in some of the lower terrain of the Willamette Valley over a 48-hour period. So if that materializes, we are concerned about possible flooding, which brings in landslide potential, down trees, down power lines, power outages, etc. So right now is the time to start thinking about what you can do to be prepared. And then when the rain hits, obviously, slow down and be ready for that on the roads if you have to travel. Again, that's Tuesday and Wednesday of next week. We'll get into more of that in just a second. But for now, the rain that we've had out there this morning is beginning to wrap up as expected here. This is the live look from our Wells Fargo sky camera. It is a little breezy out there. Southwest winds right now sustained at 18, gusting to nearly 30 at PDX. Rainfall over the last 48 hours, this has been impressive. This is basically over the last 36 hours here, about 1 1/3 inches here in Portland, nearly 3 inches in Tillamook, and about 1 1/4 inches up in Vancouver. At the moment, we do have aerial flood advisories for portions of the Coast Range and the coast because of the heavier rain that they've had thus far this morning. The good news is that rain is working its way on out, we think, and we are going to see gentler rain and even some breaks, complete breaks in the rain, like what we're getting right now over downtown Portland the remainder of our afternoon. So breezy, mild, temperatures in the upper 50s. More rain, though, back in our weekend forecast, not all weekend, but from time to time. And then, of course, we're keeping tabs on that next weather impact alert for Tuesday and Wednesday of next week. I've got more on that coming up in just a few minutes.
Keeping us prepared, Chris. Thank you. Well, here's a look at your national headlines this afternoon. Within the last hour, we have learned the Supreme Court has agreed to take up the case on whether President Donald Trump's executive order ending birthright citizenship is constitutional. The order says children of parents living in the country illegally or temporarily are not citizens. The justices said today they would hear the Trump administration's appeal of a lower court ruling blocking the order. The case will be argued in the spring, and a definitive ruling is expected by early summer. The suspect arrested in connection to the Washington, D.C. pipe bomb incident believed the 2020 election was stolen. Sources briefed on the matter tell CNN 30-year-old Brian Cole told investigators he believed the election was stolen during interviews with the FBI. It provides what could be the first indication of a motive for the bombs. The FBI and Justice Department declined to comment when contacted by CNN. Cole faces multiple federal charges. At a hearing this morning, a judge ordered Cole to be held in jail. He did not enter a plea. New data from the Commerce Department shows consumer spending in September cooled off and inflation ticked up. The new report, delayed by the government shutdown, says inflation rose 0.3% between August and September. That brought the annual rate up to 2.8%, a level it hasn't reached since April of 2024. Spending also rose 0.3% in September, but was flat when accounting for inflation. And those are your national headlines. Here closer to home, authorities arrested a man at Southwest Portland's Mac station after he allegedly threatened TriMet security with a knife. He was taken into custody just before 10 o'clock last night at the Goose Hollow Mac stop. Police say it doesn't appear that the man physically hurt the TriMet officer, but that he did show a knife and will likely be facing menacing charges. Meanwhile, in Washington state, new data shared by lawmakers shows crime is down overall in the Evergreen state. However, the number of crimes committed is still higher than before the pandemic. Drew Mickelson breaks down the new stats and how lawmakers are looking to continue this downward trend.
A coin toss. That's just about the odds someone who commits a murder in the state of Washington will get arrested. That was one of many crime statistics presented by a panel of experts to state legislators today. And while the crime rate is dropping in Washington, lawmakers say much more can be done.
National robbery rates have been declining significantly. That was not the case in Washington from 2020 to 2022.
The pandemic may be over, but the COVID crime bump is still being felt in Washington. The latest figures from the Washington Association of Sheriffs and Police Chiefs suggest crime decreased in 2024 compared to 2023, including double-digit drops in robberies and murders. And while homicide totals are declining, they're still way higher than in 2019, before crime spiked across the country during the pandemic.
I don't believe that the numbers they're putting out are accurate. There are far too many people that I've personally talked to that have just stopped reporting the crime.
Representative Jenny Graham, the top Republican on the House Community Safety Committee, says her constituents are frustrated with slow response times and a lack of law enforcement, leading to underreporting and unsolved cases. According to the FBI, since 2022, 38% of homicides, half of aggravated assaults, and 69% of robberies have not been solved.
There's a 40% chance that a murder will be unsolved. That does not engender confidence in the justice system. So we need to be investigating better. We need to be deploying police to do those detective jobs so that we can, again, work with the community and solve crimes better.
Committee Chair Roger Goodman wants to use state grants to incentivize agencies to hire more officers and not just beat cops.
We need more detectives. We need more investigations. But that doesn't pay as well. And so if you're on patrol, you get paid more overtime and so forth. But that shouldn't be an incentive not to investigate crime. So I want to structure things better.
One positive note, the state of Washington is finally hiring more police officers than it's losing on a year-to-year basis. But the state remains at the bottom of the list nationally when it comes to officers per capita. And despite this recent uptick, it's actually fallen further back from Oregon, the next state on that list. In Olympia, Drew Mickelson, King 5 News.